Please don't attack my children. They've been through so much.
Russell Simmons was recently exposed for something shocking.
Don't attack my family, which is supposed to be your family too.
His own family spoke out against him, and the stories they shared about him definitely didn't portray him as the good guy. In fact, he really came across as a villain. But what did Russell actually do to make headlines? It all started in early June on Father's Day. As you probably know, Russell has 2 daughters, Ming and Aoki. You'd expect Ming and Aoki to celebrate Russell on Father's Day, but that's not what happened. Rather, it was the opposite. Ming decided to use the holiday as an opportunity to take a not-so-subtle shot at Russell. She posted an Instagram story with the caption, "Happy Father's Day." But instead of a photo of Russell, she shared a photo of her and her mother, Kimora. The implication was obvious. Ming wanted to express that Kimora plays the role of her mother and her father, and that Russell doesn't deserve any praise. It was a pretty telling Instagram story, but it still left a lot of people wondering why Ming was taking a jab at Russell. What did Russell do to deserve this kind of thing? Well, we weren't left waiting for long, because shortly after Ming's Father's Day post, her sister Aoki came forward with a much more explicit attack on Russell's character. In a move that seemed to be backing up her sister, Aoki shared a series of texts and video chats between her and Russell, and it really did not paint him in a good light. Rather, it made him look angry, manipulative, and threatening, and like an emotionally and potentially physically dangerous man to be around. In one of the videos Aoki shared, Russell is visibly upset and is seen yelling at Aoki. You might think that's not a huge deal. I mean, parents get angry at their kids sometimes, right? Well, that was just the beginning of what Aoki told us about Russell. She said that Russell often calls her friends, her boyfriend, and other people close to her and threatens them. She claimed that he has harassed her grandmother in the middle of the night, and she alleged that one time, Russell sent a man to Ming's apartment at 2 a.m. with the intent of scaring her. All of which are things that a father clearly shouldn't do to his children. Perhaps worst of all was that Russell threatened Aoki's career. He told her that he would ensure that she never gets a fashion job again if she tried to publicize his behavior, which is, of course, a plausible threat considering how well connected Russell is. Aoki also said that Russell told her that no one would believe her if she tried to speak out about the way he treated her and Ming. Aoki expressed that she believes that Russell is mentally unwell. She said that he hasn't been acting like himself for years. The harmful behavior is a relatively new thing, but she also said she doesn't believe that he will seek any sort of help for his mental health. Very shortly after Aoki's comments about Russell took to social media to publicly address Ming and Aoki. And although his intent was probably to ease the public's mind, he actually made things worse. His message was very odd and seemed indicative of a larger problem. He told Ming and Aoki that God was testing them and that they needed to be strong in the face of adversity, which is really strange considering it was him who was causing their problems. Was he implying that he was being led by God to be manipulative, threatening, and emotionally harmful? It's hard to say exactly what he was thinking. This message was just really confusing and weird. He also told Ming and Aoki that they were merely going through growing pains, as if being harassed by an intimidating man in the middle of the night, for example, is a normal part of growing up. He went on to tell them to smile and breathe, and he told them that they were only watchers of the world, and they should be at peace and let God drive them. There's nothing wrong with turning to God in times of trouble, but it's very off-putting when the person causing the trouble preaches God as a path through the problems. At the very end of his confusing and manipulative statement, Russell finally offered a half-baked apology. He said he was sorry for being frustrated and yelling, which obviously doesn't cover all of the wrongs he committed and doesn't feel very genuine following the rest of the message. So that's what went down back in June that put Russell in the headlines. I'm sure you're wondering, though, if there have been any updates. Has there been any more drama made available to the public? Well, in fact, there has been. More recently, in mid-September, Aoki reflected on what she revealed to the world, and Kimora offered some insightful thoughts as well. In an interview with Teen Vogue, Aoki said that she doesn't regret speaking out against Russell. She said she was happy she addressed it. According to Aoki, a lot of people already knew something was wrong with their family dynamic, so she felt comfortable sharing her experience publicly. I'm sure it was actually empowering for her to comment on something that was already sort of being discussed. She was able to take control of the narrative and present the truth of what she had been going through, instead of just letting fans try to piece it all together. Although that, of course, doesn't make up for the fact that she has a very bad relationship with her father. Kimora also spoke out about the situation, publicly offering her support to Ming and Aoki. Aoki. In one interview, she said that she knew that Aoki was telling the truth regarding Russell's actions. She defended Aoki against some fans who were saying she was acting spoiled. And she expressed that people should always stand up for themselves in the face of bullying, whether it's coming from someone you don't know or from your own father. She also said that she considers herself a single mom, which definitely implies that she doesn't think of Russell as a father figure for their daughters, which I believe is because she, Aoki, and Ming have decided that Russell shouldn't have access to them, considering the way he has treated them over the past few years. I think that's a very reasonable decision to make. Regardless of who you are, it's wrong to threaten and intimidate others who have done nothing wrong. I definitely feel bad for Aoki and Ming. They must feel completely betrayed. A father is supposed to be a loving, supportive figure in a child's life, not a distressing and scary one. Maybe Russell does have some mental health issues that he's not addressing, like Aoki said. If so, I hope that he takes the recent spotlight on his behavior as a sign that he should get help before he hurts even more people. I'm not sure whether Aoki, Ming, and Kimora could ever forgive him for what he's done, but maybe if he took the necessary steps to be a better father, they would let him back in their lives. Until then, they have every right to talk about their experiences with Russell and to keep him away from their lives. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Can you believe everything Russell has put his family through? Are his actions indicative of some underlying mental health issue? And do you think he will ever learn to be better? Let me know in the comments below.